I think that was on perfect timing, Brooke. I think we did that at the exact same time.
I mean, was there ever any doubt between the two of us?
Mm,
You know,
some, no,
perfect timing seems to be our little thing here lately. You know what I mean?
absolutely. And hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup Ringside, where we give you the best seat in the house on all things, or most things wrestling, all things WWE. I am your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Her, I am drinking on some juice and some water over here, but that's not important. What's important, what is the most important thing I have, is my mug. Beer, 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 beer. Ooh.
Bow.
Panel full of cup mugs, panel full of cup mugs. Beer, 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 beer. Ringside edition. Ooh.
Mhm.
And you can get your new and improved cup mug at LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. The link will be in the description below. It's new and improved because now, when you get your new mugs, I have tweaked it, I have fixed them. So you'll have your logo on this side and on this side.
Girl, I'm ordering me a new cup mug. Okay.
Period. That's what I said. I have to do the same thing. I was like, I have to order me a new cup mug because I fixed it, I tweaked it, and things are looking better and better. So you can get your new cup mug at lanag'screations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically. So there are no excuses. Get your merch.
Unless your country is underwater, under fire, or on fire. Um,
Sure.
and
Then wait till after all that's over.
there
Then get
are
your cup mug.
some excuses.
Some excuses.
Yes. Hi, everybody. It's Brooke, the queen of the cup ringside. I am very excited to be talking about some other queens here today. Uh, I am drinking me some water, specifically Kroger branded water, because groceries. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all, we told you all a few weeks ago. We did that Women's United States Championship. Our personal picks for who we would like to see hold that belt. And we told you we weren't doing any of the Raw ladies. We told you because we didn't know if they were going to do the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And if they did, we'd be here. Well, it looks like we manifested the truth to borrow Big Brotherism, and
Mm-hmm.
we got what we wanted, and we have a Women's Intercontinental Championship belt, everybody!
Woo, 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 woo. Beep, beep,
Woohoo!
beep, beep. And we are here to give you our thoughts and our predictions on our five women who we think deserve to be the first inaugural intercontinental champion. So we're gonna do it just like we did it last time because why not? Before we get
So,
started, we know there's things I need you to do. Just a couple. What?
me too. Me too.
I'm going to not drop my microphone and break it. That's what I'm not gonna do.
So what Lana needs to do is not drop her mic, but what
Right.
you all need to
You need to
do
do
is
subscribe to this channel and subscribe to all of our other channels for sure because yeah, we need you to do that. And
punch that
uh,
notification bell while you're at it.
absolutely. And
It's right
then
beside the subscribe button. You barely got to move your mouse.
period. And we are part of a network. So there are three other channels that you could, you know, you could subscribe to. All those links will be in the description below. So hit those links in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links and our
Hmm.
Patreon and all of those things. So do all the things. Our socials are down there too. At the Twitter on at the Cup Pod. We're also all on Blue Sky now, so follow us on Blue Sky at the Cup Pod
Hmm.
and all of us. So check us out on Twitter or Blue Sky these days, and Instagram and TikTok as well. Okay, Brooke.
So, so
Yeah.
to clarify, in case someone is just now joining us for the first time, didn't watch our U.S. Championship video, importantly, we are only going to be talking about members of the Raw or the NXT rosters. Mainly because one, the SmackDown ladies already got their gig over with the U.S. title on the blue brand. Uh, but secondly, because if we talked about the SmackDown ladies, we'd probably be repeating ourselves. So
Mhm.
keep an eye out for all of that. We do actually have an NXT talent entering into the women's US title tournament to replace Jade Cargill, that being Lash Legend. Uh, that was announced online. Uh, it now, I will clarify, SmackDown was pre-taped last past
Mm-hmm.
week. So if
Mm-hmm.
you want to know the results of that match, you can look it up, but I'm not spoiling them here.
Please and thank you, because I did not look
Yeah.
online to find that.
But yeah, so only the Raw rosters and the NXT rosters are eligible to be selected here today on
Mm-hmm.
this day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and also, before we even get to talking about that, can we talk about the belt first? She's beautiful.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful belt.
So pretty.
She's a
Like
pretty beautiful belt.
immediately, if we did our top 10 belts video again, oh, she's going up there. She beautiful white strap. Give me more white strap content. Thank you, WWE. Um, but secondly, I am so effing happy they did not do the cop out thing and make the freaking globes pink. That everybody was
Oh,
like, "Oh,
Jesus.
make the globes pink." No.
No.
No. The difference should be the strap. Make the strap the difference and we're good. Um, but like, yeah, I think this belt is pretty. I think
But
it's real pretty.
I love the belt. I mean, I love the men's belt, and
hmm
so to do the exact replica of the men's belt for the women's belt, but smaller, only made it better for me, and I love that belt. So I think this is a great belt. They did a really good job with it. It's great. It's great.
Everybody's happy.
I'm happy.
Everybody's happy. Um,
Everybody's happy. But let's
so
get into it.
this officially puts us at 7 championships for the women
Yep.
across main roster
Yep.
in NXT. Isn't
Yep.
that nice to say, Lana?
Yep. It is
7
lovely.
women's champ. Oh my God, it's so crazy. Um, sorry. Continue.
No, it's lovely. I love that for them. I hope now that they will continue to build into the women's division, keep building it up, let the talent that is in NXT start to make a rise, and let the talent that's in the performance center go into NXT and start, just keep bringing in good talent so we can
hmm
build up the women's division so all seven of these belts are worthy. You know? you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and granted, the only title belt that the men have now that the women don't have is an extra set of tag titles.
Right.
And quite
We don't need
frankly,
that.
I'm okay with that
We don't
because
need
the
what
men's
more.
tag belts aren't even booked well as it is. So,
Right, I was
you
like, we
know,
don't need to. We don't need to.
isn't
It's
it
fine.
crazy that the best booked tag division in WWE right now is the women's tag division?
That's wild.
Try saying that at WrestleMania last year. But
Wild.
regardless, do we want to start with a few honorable mentions like we did last time?
You can, because I honestly don't have honorable mentions, or I will be making some repeats from the same. Because I think my honorable
hmm
mentions from the women's US title, which were all NXT people, are my honorable mentions for this
Fair.
title. Like, I think
That
they all belong there.
That's fair. Big difference for me is that a lot of mine were just women on SmackDown. So
Mm-hmm.
here's some of my women on Raw that I think would be okay choices, but not my ideal choices.
Mm-hmm.
Um, both Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They are a good tag team. Don't break them up. But
I
if they
wanted to keep them as a
did,
tag team.
yeah, exactly. Same thing there. We talked about it with the women on SmackDown too, with a few of these tag teams that were still around. I was like, yeah, good tag team. Don't need them to break up. We're fine.
Right.
In the same respect, that would also apply to both Caden Carter and Katana Chance.
Oh, absolutely. Keep them
Although I
together.
think if you are going to push one of them as a single star, either one of them is a great choice to do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Not near future, just future. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it for honorable mentions. Everybody else is pretty much on my list. So, well, who's your
you
number
know,
five, Lana?
but you know what? I might have lied. I might have lied. I think I do have one person for my honorable mention, and she has been doing fairly well in on Raw. I still need her to have more time, but
hmm
she's someone who I could see doing okay, and that is Maxine Dupree.
My girl Maxine, I love her too.
I like
I
her.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
She needs
fair.
more. She needs more time. Like I don't want her to be the
Mhm.
first, but I want her to be it eventually, but
Yep.
not the first.
I think that's more than fair.
But number five. I would you like me to go first, or do you want to go
Absolutely. Go
first?
ahead.
Okay. So my number five, I would say, and I put her at number five, not because I don't want her to be, but I feel like maybe not right now, but eventually, yeah, it will be Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't fault you for that.
I like her. I think she's great. I think she's future championship material. Like down the line, she'd be great.
Hmm.
I think she has potential to be in the running in the conversation. Yes, I do believe she should be in the conversation. But do I think she deserves to have that title first? Probably not.
Well, funny you should mention that because number 5 on my list is also Lyra Valkyria. Um, um, in terms of up and coming women's stars on Raw, I think Lyra is definitely one of those people that's going to be like is the future of this company in the women's division
Mm-hmm.
for sure. She's not old. She's very good in the ring. And we saw how much faith they had in her. They put her in the finals of the Queen of the Ring
Mm-hmm.
tournament. So we know that they at least believe in her to some extent. I will say she hasn't really hit those same highs since Queen of the Ring. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got this feud going on with Pure Fusion Collective, terrible name, and tagging with Caden and Katana. So yeah, kind of make her be like the leader of that trio. Having her have a belt would be nice,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't need it. And I think if we
No.
want, and I think for me, maybe give her a little bit more time to cook. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
around like SummerSlam next year, I could see her in the conversation for this
Mm-hmm.
for sure. I just don't know if first is necessarily where I need her to be.
Right. Right. I
But
agree
but
with
I
you.
fully agree with everything you just said, Lana. Everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what is your number four then?
Well, my number 4 is a very interesting pick, I think, because I think a
Okay.
lot of people are going to have this woman higher.
Okay.
Um, and I thought about not putting her on my list at all because I don't think she needs this belt.
Okay.
But I do think if she happened to have this belt, it would only help. So I am going to say that my number 4 pick is Raquel Rodriguez. Um,
Mm.
I think I know a
Mm.
lot of people. I've seen a lot of people online, and I mean, there's the one answer that pretty much everyone is saying should be the first one, and
Mm-hmm.
then she's kind of like 2 and 3 for a lot of people, like one of their backup picks. I think on the pro side for Raquel, you give Raquel this belt. Liv has the women's world title. It's a
Mm-hmm.
tried and true format. You got the little Shawn Michaels with the world title, and then you got the big bulky Diesel behind him with the mid card belt, right?
Right.
It worked for Shawn and Diesel. It,
Right.
it could work here. I think the reason I don't necessarily think this needs to go there is because if Raquel were to become the women's intercontinental champion, I can't imagine any feud she would immediately have that would
Mm.
be like a believable person that I think could reasonably take the belt off of her.
Mm.
That's my first problem. And I think my second problem is pretty simply I don't think she needs the belt to be elevated in the way that Diesel did at the time when he was Sean's bodyguard.
Okay.
So, but I will say this: if she did win it, not mad. Just don't know if she's not one of my top 3 choices. But if she did get it, I'd be pretty happy about it.
Oh. Well, my number four pick is someone who I think does need it, but I don't know if they're going to give it to her. And that is Sonya Deville. I feel like with her being quote unquote the leader of Pure Fusion Collection, horrible name. Um, um, I'm just gonna say Fusion Collection because that's pretty much what it is. I think if we ever got to a point where Shayna and Zoe got the tag team belts, well, I think they should. Um, let them have the belts. Have Sonya Deville holding the women's intercontinental belt, that shows dominance in that
Mhm.
faction, which we like to see in our factions. We love to see when our whole faction is dripping in gold for
Oh,
a period of time. It's the
so
best thing.
satisfying.
It's so satisfying. It's the best thing. It lets me know, like, okay, yes, these people together are a group, a unit that are solid and they're good. So I would love to see Fusion Collection have all the gold for a period of time, and I think Sonya holding the Intercontinental Championship would be ideal. And I'm not mad at it if it happens. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I
Mhm.
wouldn't be mad if it did.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think Sonya would be a great choice. I'm not gonna elaborate. I think Sonya would just be a great
Mhm.
choice. So my number three,
Mhm.
while we're on the subject of women on Raw, um,
Mhm.
which I feel like we'll be for most of this video. Beside the
Pretty
point,
much.
my my number three is a woman who has been consistently devalued by this company time and time again. She is
Mhm.
routinely put into title matches every time they go to Puerto Rico, and that's about it. But Zelina Vega, I
Mhm.
just I look at Zelina Vega and I go, why is there not ever been a belt around your waist that wasn't a tag title?
Mm.
Right? Because even in NXT, she got nothing. She was, and like even when she was working in TNA, the only belt she got in TNA were the TNA Knockouts tag titles. Literally, she
Mhm.
has only ever been a tag champ her entire career.
Mm,
Granted,
mm,
she
mm.
won Queen of the Ring, or Queen's Crown back then. Ugh, terrible
But
name.
that didn't have
Um,
nothing to do with nothing. They didn't have no opportunity for nothing at that point.
Exactly. There was nothing there. That was the same year Xavier Woods won King of the Ring, and I love
Mhm.
Xavier Woods, but you cannot tell me that they did not do both of those tournaments specifically because Xavier Woods wanted to be King of the Ring, and because they knew if they did the men's tournament, they had to do the women's tournament to
Right.
some degree. So they were
Yep.
like, okay, Zelina Vega can have this because we're not giving her a belt anytime soon. Um, but Zelina's very, very, very good in the ring. She is phenomenal on the mic. The only problem for Zelina is that she is basically afloat in the water character wise right now because of the
Mhm.
LWO. She
Yep.
is nothing but a Rey Mysterio crony. I love you, Rey. Don't get me wrong, but that is what has
But
happened to everyone in the LWO
yep.
except for Dragon Lee now because he's, spoiler alert, just won the Speed Championship. Um, so not that anyone cares.
I'm about to say, not that nobody will see it on television, but okay.
Correct, correct. Clean win on Andrade too, by the way. It was a very good match. Beside the
Mhm.
point, um, Zelina, I want her to have these opportunities because I remember she had a really good world title match with Liv a few months ago. That was like
Mhm.
fantastic match, and like, granted, we
Mhm.
knew Liv was winning that match, but like, it was one of those things where you would think that maybe it would lead to further opportunities, and it really just hasn't.
Right.
Um, I think Zelina would be a fantastic first champion, especially now that she's not in a tag team with like Carmella or anyone else anymore.
Mhm.
It could really boost her back up the ladder. So Zelina Vega.
Interesting. Because Zelina was my number 3.
Hey, let's go.
Is it? I mean, and for all the reasons that you said, and I think she is somebody like I feel like when we get to like 3, 2, and 1, like any of these people could be the number one, could
Mhm.
actually do it, and I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
I think it's about time for her to step out on her own and actually do some things. Like you said, being in an LWO is cool, but she needs to be more active
Yeah.
outside of the LWO or within the LWO, and like if you're going to make her just a managerial role, then make her do that, but make her be like the best at it. Like make sure she's in everything and she's involved in everything. But I would prefer to see her as a superstar and in the ring. So if you're going to do that, give her more matches, book her better, make her sure she's out there more, and she can win some things. Like it just she needs it. She deserves it. I feel like she has shown that she is good in the ring and she can hold her own. So why not? Why not?
Everything we have said. So if Zelina was your number three, Lana, who was your number two?
So my number 2. Now this one, I don't know if this person is going to be around soon or no.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm intrigued.
Uh-huh. This person has been in conversations in title reigns, held championships before, but I feel like they have been so removed. But now when they come back, this will be a great place for them to start again, to jumpstart back into the conversation where they already were.
I like where this is going.
And that is Asuka.
Yes, 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 yes.
That is Asuka. I miss Asuka. Something
Don't
fierce,
don't we
by the
all?
way, and
Don't we all?
something fierce. And I know that she might not be wrestling for too much longer, and I get it and I understand. But I want when she does come back and she decides she wants to do it some more, give her the belt. Give her the belt.
Mhm,
Um, let her have this reign. It'd be a championship that she hadn't had. Let her, she's give her the grand champion of, give her the triple crown, so to speak. And
mhm.
nobody deserves it more than Oscar to me. Nobody. Well, one person, but love Oscar.
Yeah, I didn't put Oscar on my list because I don't know when she's coming back.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know
But
when,
for
but
the
I put her.
record, if she was around and healthy, she would
Mm-hmm.
have made my list easily. Um,
Absolutely.
but I'm not gonna do that to her today. That's also the same reason I didn't pick anybody in Damage Control. I came very close to putting Kyrie Sane on my
Me
list.
too. I thought about that
Um,
too.
but again, in Dakota, kind of a lesser extent, only because I think Dakota has other things I want for her, Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I just think Kyrie would be such a good pick. But the only reason I didn't is because Asuka's not back yet, and we know that they're kind of wanting to keep at least two members of Damage Control always in that women's tag scene. So
Mm-hmm.
and with EO doing what EO is currently doing, I didn't feel
Right.
like I could throw either one of them in.
Right.
Um, but
Oh, I miss
however,
somebody. But go ahead. I wonder
however,
if you picked the person.
my number two, um, was very close to being my number one. Actually, I think,
Oh.
uh, one of the most underrated talents in this company at the moment. I think this is somebody who is really good in the ring, decent on the mic, not her best attribute, but I think she's definitely improved a lot in the past few years.
Okay.
Um, and ever since she came back a few months ago, she
Ooh.
has really been impressing me, even if
I
the
think
rest of her
it's.
stable, which has a terrible name, has not. Sonya Deville. When you said it, I was like, ooh, I really want to talk about it, but I gotta wait. Um, I fully agree with everything you said. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I don't know. This has been the run for Sonya for me. Like, since she's came back from that injury, when she tore her ACL last year, I feel like this, for lack of a better term, Deville's advocate role that she's
Mm-hmm.
kind of been doing, leading this stable of kick your ass lesbians. Like, I love it. Um, you have Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark really there as like, I don't want to say the muscle because they're all the muscle, but like
Mm-hmm.
as like the backbone to this fierce, extremely intimidating force that is Sonya Deville. And I think part of that is she finally has a finisher with a name and with good impact. Um, her character work has been awesome. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when you put those things together, and she's finally not, when she's in a group, she's finally not one of the people in the tag team. We can
Right.
actually see her having a belt for once.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
that wasn't the tag belts that she held with Chelsea Green for like 5 weeks. If you
Right.
forgot about that, I don't blame you. Um, but yeah, Sonya's been fantastic since she came back. I think she would be a phenomenal first champion. Um, and I think the only thing that holds me back from making her my number one pick is that they really haven't really invested a ton into her as a singles competitor.
Right.
So I hope that she gets the opportunity to show what she can do. Um, because I really do enjoy her a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Sonya Deville.
So we are made here. We're here. Number one. Our number one picks. Um,
Okay, It's probably the same person.
It's probably the same person, I think.
Do we want a three,
So
two,
let's
one
do it
it?
together and see if it's the same person.
Okay.
If it's not, I will be very interested.
If it's not the same person and you picked like I don't know, like I'm just gonna say Liv
I-
Morgan because I know it's not Liv Morgan, but like if you picked Liv Morgan for some reason or something like that, I'm gonna be very interested.
Interesting. But
All right.
3, 2, 1. Natalia.
Natalia. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Um, I mean, for everything we said about Asuka, or you said about Asuka, that times 10 for Natalia. She is the longest tenured woman in the history of the company. She doesn't have a ton of time left in the ring, more than likely.
Right.
But I mean, even if she does, Natalia could wrestle for another 20 years, and I wouldn't be shocked. I'll be honest. But like, just knowing how much she cares and loves this business,
Mm-hmm.
like Natalia is just one of those people that I feel like could wrestle her entire life, like go full Mae Young, and then
Right.
just like take a power bomb off the ring, off the stage through the table when she's 80 and be totally
Mm-hmm.
happy. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's just me. Um, dear God, she deserves this so much.
If anybody is going to bring the prestige to the IC title for the women for the first inaugural title holder, it's Natalia. For everything you just said, the fact that she is so tenured, she is the person everybody goes to. Like everybody goes for help. Natalia helps everybody. I think she is the perfect person to hold this belt, to have a good run. She might not. We don't know how long she's going to be there still, and besides all of that, she simply deserves it. And
Mm-hmm.
it would be a shame for them not to give it to her. I feel like to overlook her for something like this when for what? For what reason? Why are we overlooking someone who does everything like Natalia, who does what Natalia does? I think it should be her. I hope it's her. I just
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I just hope it's
Well,
her.
and I mean, on top of that too, something that somebody posted on Twitter either this morning or last night that I thought was really interesting. Natalia was in the match to crown the first Divas champion. She didn't win
Hmm.
that match.
Right.
Natalia was in the match to crown the first SmackDown Women's champion. She
She didn't
didn't
win
win
that.
that match. Natalia was in the first defense for the new women's world title. Obviously, she didn't win that match.
Mm-mm.
Um, Natalia, after Paige vacated the NXT women's title when she came to the main roster, was in the finals of that tournament to become, I guess, the second NXT women's champion. She didn't win that match. You gotta give it to her this time. You have to.
You have
I,
to.
and like I've never been like a ride or die Natty stan. I know those
Right.
exist on Twitter. I see you. I respect you because I'm the Liv Morgan equivalent of you. Um, but I fully do not think there is another option.
I
I,
I
if
agree.
if she gets to the finals of this, I'm
And
assuming
she don't win.
tournament,
Right.
and
That's
she
probably a tournament.
loses, I will be so mad.
Would be
Um,
annoying.
yeah, I think Natty just has, especially considering the work she's done for countless talent over
Right.
the years. She has made herself the, I don't want to say the stepping stone, but like the launch pad for
Yeah.
so many other women.
Yeah.
Elevated so much talent. Her and Tyson Kidd train hundreds of
Yeah.
wrestlers have
Yep.
came through their school. I mean, right now, BFAB like
Yeah.
has been training with them
Yeah.
for months, and look at
Yep.
how good she was in her
Yeah.
SmackDown debut. So you gotta give it to her, Trips. I know you don't like uh Canada people for some reason, unless they're Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. But like this one time,
We gotta give it to
please,
her.
you
We
gotta
gotta
give
give
it to
it to
her.
her. Absolutely. Well, that's that, y'all. Those are our five. I think it's a very solid,
Hmm.
solid group of people
Yeah,
and a solid list. And I can't wait to see what happens. I wonder what they're going to do. When is this tournament going to happen? Because we know for the United States champion, we'll find out. We'll crown the winner at Saturday Night Main Event next
I
month.
can't wait.
So excited! So we'll find out who's going to win that. But we have no idea what's going to happen to the IC champions. I'm thinking maybe Rumble.
I'm thinking, and this is maybe just me, first Raw on Netflix. I think that's when
Maybe,
it's gonna be. I think
maybe.
that's probably the perfect time for it to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can see that.
but I mean, if they do what SmackDown's been doing, and they have triple threat, triple threat, triple threat, triple threat, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then two more matches. Let's say they have them on the same episode of Raw before the semifinal. Just
Mm-hmm.
enough time to get through that entire tournament before the first episode of Raw on Netflix on January 6th. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it would make sense. Um, and also, I just and if this is why they arranged it the way they did, and the women's U.S. title debuted earlier
Mm-hmm.
because Saturday Night's main event, and then the women's IC belts debuting a little bit later for first Raw on
First ones.
Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is brilliant booking, Triple H. Good
Good
job, Triple
job.
H.
It
Um.
worked.
Oh, okay. One more thing. Something else
Yes.
I want to discuss with you because we did talk about it with the U.S. title. I think it's something we got to talk about the IC title too. Can they get the championship deployment right, please? Please. Because on SmackDown, it was a pre-taped segment with Nick Aldis introducing it backstage, but at least it aired on the main show. They filmed it, and it happened. The reveal happened before Raw, and it wasn't pre-taped. There is no pre-taping going on here. What are
Just,
we doing, WWE?
I'm like, why are we getting huge belts just like pushed aside and talked about like an afterthought? Like, oh, by the way, here's the women's IC champion earlier tonight. What? When we got that stupid, ugly, big, bulky, ugly belt for the crown jewel, take up time on programming to announce what Triple H being out there doing it. It's just, it's giving, Triple H is giving you don't care about the women's division. It's giving, um, the women's division is like a like you feel like you have to do it because women will be mad if you don't do it. Like it's giving you don't care.
It's that, but also it's giving. I remember what you did with the tag belts, Triple H energy. Like, I just, y'all. It's not hard. You've done it 3 other times this year. Okay, you just step by step process. Okay, you get belt, put on table, put cloth over table, put table in ring. Triple H come out, pull cloth off belt. Ooh ah, you have done it. And you do all of this on
On
TV.
TV. Take
That's it.
5 minutes out of your regularly scheduled programming and do it on TV.
I get that they are having some issues with Raw and SmackDown being 2 hours currently and having to shrink down some of the time. I get that. Okay. But cut 5 minutes out of something, you can do it. Hell, you can shave a minute off of everything.
How about this? You could shave. They could have shaved a minute off of the Damian Priest Gunther's interaction, where Gunther was just standing there being quiet and not saying nothing. We could have shaved a minute off of uh the the um the Judgment Day segment when they were just talking about we're no leaders here, blah blah blah. Shave a
Could have
minute off of that.
You could have shaved a minute off of the LWO Diamond Mine match
Yeah,
today, or American Made or whatever their name is. I forget.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
all
Um.
that.
Like there are things they could do. And we know there are things they could do, and they know there are things they could do. At
Right.
the end of the day, and this is something my friend Trent texted me. We're talking about it this morning. Um. He said, "I'm really excited about this belt, but I hope they actually use it." And that's where I'm at with it too. We saw with the women's tag belts, we're just now getting to a place where those are getting used properly. I'm hoping when they go back to Netflix and we're back to 3 hours, things are going to get fixed in that area. But you never know with WWE, so fingers crossed.
Who knows? But there's that. We're gonna get out of here because we've done all we can. We've said all we can. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Let us know your top five. Who you think should be the inaugural women's IC champion? Tell us everything. We want to hear it all. We're anxious. We want to hear everything. So tell us what you think. Tell us who you think should. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Should thank you. Should not be on the list. Like let us know everything. But and then tune in. We'll be back here this week because we have to talk about Survivor Series. We'll be back here tomorrow. Well, it'll be
Mhm.
Thursday when it comes out, but yeah, we'll be
We're
back here. Yeah,
recording tomorrow.
we're recording tomorrow, but we'll be back here on Thursday. You'll see us on Thursday when we're giving our predictions on Survivor Series and what we think is going to happen. It's not not a lot of matches in this Survivor Series, but so it should be rather quick. It should be rather quick,
Ain't
but
complaining.
we'll talk about it. But we'll
Hmm.
be back and subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to all of our other channels. Hit the buttons below, all the things, the notification bell, all the things. Follow this channel, follow the other channels, follow our audio podcast links, our Patreon links, all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. You can follow Brooke and I on Twitter and Blue Sky as well. And you can get your merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And yeah, that's it. We're gonna get out of here. So cheers, y'all.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.